Good afternoon, wild and weirdos and weirdettes out in wild and weird radio land. It's Ron. That's Joe over there. And we are here because it is Thursday again.
It
And
is.
that means it's time to kick off the weekend the wild and weird way, which is what we do.
And
So,
what a weekend to kick it off the wild and weird
oh
way.
boy. Yeah. Absolutely. We had a blast there last weekend. We got to meet some new people. I'm hoping some of you folks are out there. If you are, then you know, step up and say hi. This is how this show works. You can just chime in anytime and ask questions or just make a comment, etc., etc. So, anyway, Joe, let's get these folks welcomed in.
Guys, thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate you for coming in and spending your Thursday evenings with us every weekend. It is a great pleasure of ours to be able to sit down with you guys and hang out. We thank you. We've got Mid-Ohio Valley Unexplained, aka Tommy. What's going on, brother? The West Virginia Bigfoot Project's in the house. Jordan Booker was here and early again. You're getting your stickers back, man. Ada Cox is in the house. We've got Larry Hose is in the house. What's going on? Happy Thursday. Listening periodically from work. That is the right way to do things, man. That's how to get it done, brother. Terry McCullough. By the way, this shirt is brought to you courtesy of Larry Hose. Appreciate it. I love his shirt, man. I think it's the first time I've worn it on the show, though. Terry McCullough is in the house. We've got Gary Schuler here. Dances with Orbs is here. Nancy White.
Stop. I believe. Yes.
Birthday.
Yes.
Today.
I believe we need to address that now.
Yeah. Everybody, wish Nancy a very, very happy birthday right now. She has been a friend of ours for about as long as we've been doing Wild and Weird Radio. And we love you, Nance. Thank you. And here's a Sky Daddy just for you.
I'll even make some noise. There you go. That's for you. Yay.
Terry, Scott Holbrook, what's going on? We've got James Nelson in the house. Then Enzo's here. What's going on, Enzo? Good to see you. Who else? Anita Allen is here. Can't wait to see y'all. We can't wait to see you either. Dances is kicking the door down with a blessing here where we'll give it right back to you. Thank you.
That calls for another song.
We've got Jen in the house. We've got Seth Lamille is here. And everybody is unanimously wishing Nance a happy birthday. Sherry Armstrong, what's going on? Good to see you. Then we've got Jimothy down there in the chat too. Spooky Appalachia's here. What's going on, brother? And I think we're caught up here, guys. We're going to go and smash that like button. Let's do some housekeeping, pay the bills before we can dive into this one because we've got some interesting topics to go over tonight. So everybody, thank you guys. Thank you. I'm going to roll the scroller.
Scroll the roller.
Scrolling the roller. This show is free. Thanks to our executive producers, Adam Good, LW Marshall, Larry Hose, Eyes in the Woods, John Smirka, Richard Minnick, Luke McCombs, Gary Schuler, Teresa of Teresa's Haunted History of the Tri-State, Ada Cox, Nancy White, Scott Holbrook, Lisa, aka Dances with Orbs. It's going to catch up to me here in just a second.
Yep.
And then it'd be nice if we could set the speed on this. Yeah,
wouldn't it though? Can't do that. No. Maybe one day.
StreamYard, if you're listening.
Yes.
Here we are, Dances with Orbs.
Yes,
finding the Trackway and the Trackway clan. Tommy Swigger, aka the Mid-Ohio Valley. Pat, Seth Beans Lamille. By the way, if you're needing some ink, go check the dude out. He does some great work. And if you're in the Chemical Valley, he's the guy to go to. Kenny Hess, Small Town Monsters, of course. James Nelson, and our bestest, favoritist friends, the octopus with at least a few friends. We've got the Deuster. We've got NW Hall, Uvaru 235, Spooky Appalachia, Lady Wolf, LR, Guitar Chains Craig, Travis Rednick, Jeffrey Steele, Russ Bailey, Chris Coots, Bigfoot, Littlefoot, Terry Summerfield, Sarah Ramsey, Julie Bug. I need to move you up to the executive producer level. I forgot to do that after the last time you donated, Julie. That is my bad. I'll fix that. Donna Ho, Angie, Jen Clower, Jamie Snell, Ike the Fob Daddy Fauber, Ashley Hilt of On Wednesdays, We Talk Weird, Lotus Flower, Wendy the Pooh Bear, still one of my favorite names on here, Asher's Creation, Spirit Brothers Paranormal UK, Pat Noble, Kim Drescher, Paul Sherman, Rick Skinner, John Barnes, and the West Virginia Bigfoot Project. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are awesome. I'm going to leave that scroller going down at the bottom. That way y'all can be, noticed and seen for what you're doing. West Virginia Bigfoot Project. Holy cow. You guys are moving up into the executive producer slot as well. We might as well just do away with the super chatter lingo. They're almost all at the
they're all there. It doesn't matter. These are our
Gary Schuler. Thank you. Here it comes, guys. Here's one for y'all coming at you. And apparently, since it's back in the news, Team Big Rock, let's do this.
We actually got some people who unsubscribed because we did that the last time, just to let you know. Yes. If you don't find it funny that a giant rock falls on my best friend, then you probably shouldn't be here.
Especially when the best friend's literally been asking for it for years.
Right. It's an inside joke. So, it's one of those things. Anyway, folks, we do have the meeting coming up this weekend. Everyone who's excited for it, let me see you start pounding out some of those emotes and reactions and drive the algorithm crazy like we usually do. I'm happy to say that we now have all of the cards. They're all nice. Done. Everybody's got their cards here. There's 20 some cards, something like that. I tried to get everybody. If I missed any of you, we'll get them. Don't worry. So we're
and good. Those of you guys who haven't made a decision yet, at least let us know by tomorrow at around 5. Make your solid decision, because that's going to be the number that we make sure that we have enough food to cover everybody for.
Yeah, we like to make sure everybody gets well fed. If you were at the last one, you understand there's a lot of food at these things. And
there's a ton of potluck food, but we just double down and make sure everybody's good.
Yep. Everybody's going to get something to eat.
Yep.
So we got foods, we got people bringing drinks, we got all kinds of fun stuff. So anyway, Joe, what time are you thinking about getting the good folks in there? Because, they kind of showed up.
We did 4:00 last time for a kickoff, but we got to get there and set up, so we'll be there kind of early. If you get there early, shoot us a message. Because we'll probably. I was thinking about getting there at around 2:30 or so.
Yeah, I'm figuring if anybody wants to show up around 3, they can start piling in there. Because I know some people bring some stuff they need to set up. I know Dave's going to be bringing some stuff. He's got to set up. He's got, the scope that he's going to bring out and let you guys see that. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Steve.
We're going to miss you, Keller.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a fun one. Very fun one.
Jordan Booker, thank you.
Thank you.
Coming right at you.
Gathering. Thank you.
2, 1.
Someday I hope to see an orb actually flash out the words "thank you."
Right.
It may happen. I don't know. It could happen.
Says, I wish I could have gone, work, other obligations, then catching COVID. Oh, no.
That's bad. Yeah.
Hopefully, you're starting to feel a little bit better, and we will indeed have a good time, and we'll be thinking about you and missing you. We're gonna get you to one of these soon, Oz. Don't worry. We'll make sure that you get a chance to get down here because you'll have a blast. You'll have a good time.
The bigger they get, the more we're trying to figure out, ways in which to include you folks,
Yeah.
who can't be there. But it's great to see everybody come out and actually participate, share data, which is,
Yeah.
that's what it's about. I mean, I know that there are folks who, think that we're doing some kind of expo or something. That's not what this is. This is completely different than anything like that. This is literally a real meeting. It's a get together, and it's a fun one. It's not something that everybody's all stuffy and no one
Yeah.
talks. Everyone's quiet. I'm giving a presentation. No, it's not like that at all. This is
At all.
really it's fun. It's fun. You're going to learn some stuff. We get to talk to everybody face to face. That's what these are for. They have the little
Yeah.
names, because you have your name here and then you got your whatever shows up here, or whatever you want. Again, like Glow and Joe over there. So,
Yep. Yep.
just whatever.
Glowing goes on my placard. You'll enjoy it.
But the idea is literally to create this massive conglomerate, to this collective of different folks who have this same thing going
Yeah.
on. They all are looking for these answers, and those are the folks that this was done for.
And the beautiful part is like it gives us a way to also give back into what you guys pour in, week out with us.
Oh yeah,
We have an opportunity to do something where we can all get together and have fun, and we get to have experiences together, and it doesn't cost anybody anything to do it. You guys don't have to pay a door fee like most events. It's covered because you guys support it and wanted it, so we made it happen.
yeah, yeah. So the more of these things you guys want, and the more you back us, the more you can expect to happen.
Mhm.
We have some big plans in the future for this, so we're going to
Yeah.
keep that going, and we're going to see what we can do with that. Um, let's see what else we got going on. We Dave's, like I said, Dave's going to be there. He's going to be showing off, his scope. He's going to be talking
Yep.
about a very common thing that we get bombarded with, which is just tons and tons of pictures of, sometimes they're satellites, sometimes they're, stars. I mean, sometimes it's easy to look at these things and say, wait a minute, that's not a UFO. We can identify that. He's going to show you how you can do that yourself before you, go and post it online, and everybody tells you it's a satellite or it's Arcturus or, Sirius or something like that. And you think that that's, common sense, but it's not. And people don't do it sometimes just because they want clicky clicks. Okay. Sometimes they're genuine and they think, wow, I never saw that bright thing before. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Venus still gets mistaken for UFOs, even by professionals to this day. So we're going to be looking at some of those kind of things. And that way, the next time you see something, you can kind of judge it and say, hey, wait a minute. Is that truly unknown? Well, if it's moving around in a weird pattern, it's probably a truly unknown. Yeah.
It is, in fact, always great to see the wild and weird family. And we have some other folks who are going to be talking while we're there too.
Yeah.
Steve, obviously the keynote of the night,
Yeah.
giving a talk on some high strangeness and weirdness around Point Pleasant and Appalachia and his research. I'm also going to be doing a demo
Yes.
for a long duration recorder.
We're going to explain that really quick for the folks.
Yeah,
Exactly how.
so we in the field we call them an LDR, long duration recorder. And what it is you take a half decent recorder. It doesn't have to be a $700-800 field recorder to do this. The $700-800 field recorders are made to be able to just take them out as is, put them out in a tree somewhere, and leave them. This is taking a decent recorder with the microphone line, waterproofing it in a way that also is an assist in finding it later where you leave it.
Yeah.
And it will protect it from the elements. It'll protect it from wildlife unless something actually like picks it up and hauls it away. But it will give you the ability to listen in on an area for anything from the night that you're there working, or if it's in an area where you want to be for a really, really long time, you can get a remote battery backpack, put it
Hello,
on it.
Joshua.
What's going on from Kroger? That is great. We're bringing people in from their workplace. I love it.
That's awesome.
And we've got this device that will set out in the elements, rain, shine, wind, and it'll be protected. And then you can go retrieve the device, unlock it, download your audio, and go through it.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're going to show you a little bit about that too. So it's going to be a fun one. And the best part is somebody's going to get this thing when you're done with it. Right. I mean,
Exactly.
that's the whole point.
This is going to be part of the door prize giveaways. We're going to show you how to build it, and then somebody's walking away with it.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We've also got some other really cool door prizes. Somebody's going to win, my favorite, a Geiger counter.
Yeah.
Because you need those. Those are important. You've been out in the field, you got to have a Geiger counter. It's just how it is.
That is a fact.
Octo, have you been seeing any drone-like objects in the sky down there? My friend that I saw the light in the sky with, that I mentioned in my doc, had another sighting 2 nights ago. It's been incredibly cloudy down here, and we haven't seen anything per se.
Yeah, we've had a lot of storms.
Yeah,
Now, Octo might have seen some stuff up there in the New England area.
Yeah.
Oz continued there and said what she saw was high, running circles around the satellites and with sudden stops. And then Octo gets back saying, yes, none of the big drones lately, actually, but I've not, at least not that I've seen. Last time they were over residential and commercial areas and the main highways, but that was at least a few months ago now.
Yeah. We're back to normal drones now, it seems.
Normal drones? Are you sure? Because
normal drones, the what I call normal drones, not the government drones, not our drones.
Yeah.
The drones, the ones that change colors and shift out of visibility.
There's a drone out there, Ron, that changes things too.
There is.
And we talked about this a little bit. I think it was last week. It was late last week when this dropped.
Yeah.
But danger, Will Robinson.
Yeah.
China used a smart drone to steer clouds and trigger rain without chemicals, just pure AI and microwaves.
Yeah, exactly. Microwaves. Steerable microwaves.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you've got an emitter now that can just travel wherever you want, and it can shoot the microwaves and steer clouds with it.
Yeah. And that's real. That's a fact. And everyone immediately jumped to, weaponizing it. And it's like, no, that's not what this is about, guys.
Absolutely not.
This isn't going to be a weapon. This is going to be
worse than that.
Oh, yeah. Because what's the next best things that humans do if they don't try to blow themselves up?
Money.
Yeah, right. That's right. Exactly. So can you imagine just, in the future, you have this area. Well, that's what it is. It's a very, very small version of it, Octo, that actually works. And it doesn't have to have a lot of power because you're only affecting the small area. So
yeah, you're not trying to bounce off the ionosphere. Yeah. You're just shooting off the front end of a drone.
Yeah. Or a swarm. You could literally. So imagine this: weather modification network systems, AI powered. You call up the weather people, right? And literally they're weather people now. Hey, you know what? I need some rain. Bill. Yeah. I need some rain out on my farm. We're in this bad drought area. Okay, that's not a problem. How much you got? That's what it's going to be. They're going to literally at some point get to the point to where they charge for either rain or no rain.
Yeah.
I can see this happening because this is
how much will you pay for some rain on your crops right now, Mr. Farmer?
Right. And I can totally see that happening. And anyone who says that that's not going to happen is just not paying attention to humans.
Exactly. Because yes, you could use it to target certain areas and flood them. We've had some tremendous flooding throughout the Appalachian region yet again this year.
Yeah.
You know, I think it was I-71 just got pummeled again in North Carolina,
Yeah.
Tennessee. We had entire apartment buildings get washed away up in Wheeling, West Virginia,
Yeah. That was insane. Yeah.
and we've had tons and tons of flooding out in Marion County, West Virginia. It's been rough with water this year again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but again, oh, we're having a major storm system. Well, we could prevent these massive floods for the
Hurricanes.
low price of
I mean, I don't know that these little guys can actually do that. You might need something a lot bigger. You might need massive storms, but think
yeah.
about it. Yeah. I mean, it's totally doable at this point.
Gary Schuller, didn't Mr. Burns already attempt weather control in The Simpsons? Oh,
Yep.
great. My tail's here.
Yeah. Looks like you're getting ready to get a headache. That's
I'm gonna have a
awesome.
headache again tonight. We've had thunderstorms all day though, so it's expected. It's what it's
Yeah.
been like the last week.
Yep. Yep. For those who don't know, anytime you hear Joe yawn, that means tomorrow he's going to probably have a migraine.
Yeah, it's my
That's how
tail.
that works.
It
So
sucks, but like
he's not bored. It's
no,
just that's what happens.
I'm
And
not bored. I'm not tired. It just
it's really
oh,
bad. They can get bad though.
yeah, they can. 8 o'clock's on the show. What history forgot? They talked about the 1950s, about all the weather and how they wanted to control it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, this is a fact. The weaponization of weather has been something that's been, attempted for a very, very long time. We were just talking today about, some stuff from way back in the day when I was doing some research on the old HARP programs, and I mean when it was out, not now. I mean, it's you guys, you've come to the playground and they've torn down the gym at this point. I mean, it's just not what it used to be. Now they can do it with smaller things like drones. they don't they don't need massive arrays.
right.
Technology has gotten smaller. It's a whole lot easier. But yeah, there was a actual document, Air Force
Mhm.
document that talked about this, and we actually referenced that I think in that one episode we did a few years ago about
We did.
HARP. Yeah,
We did.
AF 2025. If anyone wants to look that up, go for it.
AF 2025?
Yeah,
2025, huh?
yeah, I know.
The man, the moth, the legend, weather control could be weaponized, not just to wreak havoc on a country's agricultural industry, but natural disasters to take out foreign infrastructure, military installation, and even nuclear power.
It's messy. That's the only
Yeah.
problem. It's messy. Um, sure, it can, and it can throw in massive chaos. It can, you can hide behind it and say, that's just weather. We didn't attack you. That was, it's just a weird, you guys just had a really weird deluge that produced, I don't know, 40 billion gallons of water over top of you in 24 hours. I mean, so you could get out of it with that as long as no one knew exactly what you're doing, right? But
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, cloud seeding, right, right. That was how it all began back in the day.
And they're
Yeah,
still doing that today.
they do. They do. That's still a very viable option, actually.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's a thing.
Yep,
But
they've
you
done
can
that
see it.
in all over Asia and the Middle East. They
Mhm.
had a massive catastrophe because they weren't. It was too dry and they got too much water, and the water wasn't absorbing into the soil quick
That was
enough.
last
So
year, wasn't it?
yeah, it was last
When they
year
flooded.
before over in
Yeah,
Dubai,
yeah, Dubai. I remember that. Caused
and
a
there was just
massive
over.
flood.
The ground was just too hard and couldn't soak the water
Yeah,
fast enough. So, and the water came down instead of in a just a normal rainstorm. It was just a massive deluge.
yeah, yeah. So you got to be careful when you mess around with that kind of stuff. The Earth is a very balanced system, and it tries to right itself. That system tries to right itself constantly. And the more input that you throw into it, the more out of balance it gets. So it tries to go back into balance. And if that means that it has to do something over here to get rid of something or build up to another level of this, then it's going to do it. It doesn't,
Yeah.
it doesn't care.
Says I saw an article that said insurance companies are now adding that space weather damage no longer is covered
Well,
as
really?
like the act of God policy. So
Uh-oh.
they're prepping for the next Carrington event.
Uh-oh. Well, hey, you know what? They probably should, because the funny thing about that is that we have been bombarded by just incredible amounts of geomagnetic activity this past solar cycle. And there's theories that the next solar cycle is actually going to be even worse than this one. Now, if that's the case, man, because look, we've seen auroras at this point down into Florida.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I remember several years, it's been a decade or so ago, there was some specials on about, what would happen if the
Yeah.
ionosphere ever,
And they
went
said that
bad,
the
right?
people in Florida would see the
The
aurora and
auroras.
then nothing would work the next day.
They said that the people in Florida would see the auroras, and the next day that people would suddenly start to notice that they tanned a lot faster. And then after that, it would be basically everyone's irradiated. It's UV, radiation, the kind that usually gets filtered out.
Yeah.
It's not getting filtered out at that point. So, that's the thing. UV is very powerful. It's
Yeah, it's
extremely
very
powerful.
dangerous.
It's very dangerous. Yeah. I mean, UVB,
Mhm.
UVA, UVC. Those are all different wavelengths of UV. And the more you get down into the lower nanometer bands, that's when we have the real issues, because now you're moving into X-ray gammas, and you're getting into some serious stuff.
We just had an
.91.
X1.91 solar flare about 30 minutes ago.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. This one big solar sunspot has been facing Earth now for like a couple of days, and every
Yeah.
time it runs around, it's just like, is that thing going to fire off? We don't know, but yeah, there's a good chance. And yes, I'm sorry, I think it does affect things on Earth. I think that is probably why we're having some of the weather that we're having, geomagnetic activity. I think it's related.
Well, you've got the poles doing their thing.
That's right. We do have the poles.
Poles have been
Yeah.
moving for years.
Yeah.
And this is just a cycle that the Earth goes through. It's been recorded throughout history. They've seen it in tectonics and in magma
Right.
flow and in rings
Right.
of trees, ways that they've been able to study this thing for eons back, essentially saying that, yeah, this just seems to be a pattern. And normally when it happens, things get real wonky for a little bit and then they balance back out. But when you couple it with the vast amount of solar space radiation and all these other things that are taking place, that puts us in a very special place, because we've got volcanoes popping off, all big volcanoes. We've had more big volcanoes pop off just in the last month and a half, the last 60 days, than we have in years, decades, especially now. It's like all clustered in like a month and a half, 2 months time frame. And these aren't little volcanoes. These are big volcanoes sending off tons and tons and tons of particulate strata into the atmosphere, which
Oh,
help us actually.
well, this is what I'm going to say. So remember what I said about the balance of the Earth and the system, the whole ecosystem?
Yeah.
That's where the Gaia theory came from, that the Earth is an actual living entity, and in a way, you can think of it like that. The individual biomes are connected. This one connects to that one, so forth and so on. Think of it like a giant mycelial network.
Yeah.
You know how that works, right? Like
Oh
when the
yeah, the
trees need.
mycelial thread, everything communicates, everything
Yes,
shares, everything speaks.
exactly. So instead of going into it,
And that's
looking
not
at.
weird woo-woo talk either. That's
No,
not paranormal strange. That's actual science.
that's
And
science.
I teach this.
No, that's
So
real science, and it's
yeah.
amazing if you really think about how that works. It's absolutely amazing. But, you know, y already did that. Did it last week. Beat you to it. But yeah, that's great. It does. So anyway, I'm not doing it. So look, here's the thing. If we have a planet that is warming up, and it has in the past, this has been proven, it does that. And then it cools down, and it warms up, it cools down. What
But we have to
about
be living in the first part of the core.
the possibility that, that's why we are seeing these volcanoes go off? That's why we're seeing this build up the way it's building up, because, you throw the ash in the atmosphere, you're going to take the sunlight down. You're going to take the heat down.
Yeah. It'll cool.
It'll cool a little.
And the particulate will also
Mhm.
help filter some of the UV rays naturally
Uh-huh.
because it'll act as a screen.
Right. So,
You know that weird pink hazy thing that made everybody think that that's not the sun?
oh yeah, it's the Death Star. That's right. Yeah.
Just what,
Remember
2
that.
weeks ago? We're going to see
Yeah.
it again.
Yeah.
And, it might be protecting us a little bit at this point.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's
the planet's
something.
doing something.
The planet has always done something.
Yeah.
It's kind of a push and pull kind of thing. So, don't freak out too much about it, but there's a reason these things are happening. And it probably doesn't have anything to do with orbs, but who knows? It might. I do have to say this, though. How many of you guys got to see the recent Corbell and Knapp footage that they released just a few days ago?
Yeah. It was good.
It was good. It's good. I got to say it's good. And it reminded me so much of, one of my old sightings. Man, it's just crazy. So raise your hand if you haven't seen it, and we'll cue that up because we got something to talk about with this.
Yeah.
Also, before we go into that, you guys go ahead and raise your hand for that. You guys who were with us last week know that we were talking about what's that? What we got?
Oh, Anita said the latest stuff about dark matter and space shows the neural net is basically everywhere.
Everywhere.
And then Enzo said, I've seen it. Everyone is making the comparison with Nope.
Yeah, Corbell did that too. It's interesting. I'll just say that. We're gonna look at it. We're gonna look at it kind of closer, though. We're gonna actually step through it. And
Trackway says, I've been living under a rock. Everybody's saying they've seen
Okay.
it. I've been living under a rock.
Okay.
You've been a very
That's
occupied person.
That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for.
Up, brother.
Pabs is here. Pat has made it. Our technical savior has come to our rescue.
Pat is never late, never early. He arrives exactly when he's needed.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Hope you appreciate that, Pat.
So the folks who were here last week know that we were talking about that Wall Street Journal article that told us that UFOs were always the government, and that they were testing gigawatts of power over nuclear silos, and that's what people had seen. That's what Robert Salas had seen. They saw a giant orb over the missile field and it shut down the missiles. Oh, it's just an EMP. We were testing it over these guys, right? And you heard our response. Our response was, okay, that's crap, because no, you're not going to do that. No one's going to be stupid enough to do that. Well, Ross Coulthart actually went a little deeper and found out some stuff about that.
Yeah.
Number one, they were stupid enough to do that, but they didn't do it when they said they did it.
Right. And they never actually fully did it.
Right. It was a one of those experiments. Now, anyone who did grow up, by the way, watching what was that show called? I can't remember the name of it now. And it was in the 90s. It was a real techie show, and they always showed all these amazing technical gadgets and the world of tomorrow kind of stuff. There was a episode on there that I remember where they were talking about an EMP generator, and they were testing things with EMP generation. So it's not something that we didn't have. It's just something that we didn't have in this context. So that's where the lines gets blurred. Yes, we have the technology. No, we didn't put it over top of nuclear missiles in 1960, whatever it was, and Robert Salas saw them. But anyway,
blue on blue ops with it.
We did not. No, we did not. But here's Ross. We'll listen to Ross talk about that.
that the Wall Street Journal says that the incident that Captain Bob Salas experienced in March of 1967 involved the use of specific EMP devices. And Joel Shetman, the reporter from the Wall Street Journal who wrote the article, at one stage posted up on Twitter illustrations from the very formerly confidential documents, now unclassified documents, which show the towers and the devices that were erected to do this electromagnetic pulse work. And he showed these documents originally as evidence to support his story. I'm not quite sure what happened. Some people have told me the documents were taken down from his social media feed when perhaps he realized his mistake. But the documents make it very, very clear that even the concept for this program didn't begin until 2 or 3 months after the March 1967 test. And the actual first construction of these devices, these EMP devices, to do testing on nuclear missile sites didn't begin until 1971. And that's in the very documents that the Wall Street Journal's relying upon to support its assertions in this article that we can't believe Bob Salas because there were these EMP tests being done on nuclear missile sites, supposedly in March of 1967.
Well, this was getting so deep that I had to go get my Hellbent Holler adventure cap to wade through this mess with Ross here because like
so he found the evidence that here's the document, but the person who got a hold of that document only saw it as an explanation and didn't bother looking at the fine print that said, wait, this didn't happen in this year. It wasn't even built in this year.
The conceptualization was 2 months after the Salas event. The construction began later because you're talking blueprints and things have to be drawn up. There's a lot of schematic work that has to be done just to even get to the permit page, and it's ludicrous, especially now, knowing the time frame, to think that this was built and this is what they were seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's ludicrous is the right word for it. And to that, he also had something to say about what we were saying, as far as this was desperate, and that there was no way that anyone was going to test this thing over top of a strategic asset like this.
Especially,
there is no way that the US military, even the US Air Force, in its impetuousness, would allow massive discharges of electricity to be put through thermonuclear missile sites. Remember, these are the most dangerous weapons in the world. The Wall Street Journal is seriously suggesting that the US Air Force would be so irresponsible as to sanction an operation where, without knowing what the consequences would be, they would put a massive electrical discharge through 10 thermonuclear missiles. For all we know, those missiles might very well have been detonated. It could have obliterated parts of that part of central Midwest America. It's utterly ridiculous.
That it is. And Oz agrees. Who needs Fed disclosure when we have real disclosure via Wild and Weird West Virginia and its community? We've got this. I agree.
I agree. And that's another reason that we're building the collective.
Yeah.
We aren't. We're done. We're done with this, whistleblowers kind of stuff and whatnot. We can hear it, but we know we have members here who have the same data. We have members here who have had these experiences. We have members here who are willing to gather with us and share that data. There's stuff going on.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if they tell us. As long as we know it ourselves, it doesn't matter what they say. I know there's other folks who are going to be like, oh, I don't know. There's giant spaceships heading for Earth and all this nonsense. You know what? If there are, I bet we're going to figure it out before they do.
Right. And, the key is to quote Carl Sagan, to be open-minded, but not so open-minded that your brains fall out.
Well, you know,
But
it's too
we're
late.
open-minded enough. We have the wherewithal to be able to question the data, to be able to question our own experiences and compare it with hard data to then make an evaluation. And that's just where we are. So Oz, here's a set of eyes right back at you. Eyes in the woods, that was eyes in the bunker.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, to say that that's how this went down is grabbing at some really desperate stuff. They're grabbing at straws, guys.
Yeah.
There's going to be a part 2 of this thing coming out. It's going to be even more embarrassing, probably. I don't know.
At this point, I'm curious to see if part 2 is actually going to drop.
Right. I wouldn't drop it.
Part 1 got ripped apart so quickly.
It was immediate.
Yeah.
I mean,
like, it wasn't just ripped apart like critics getting upset or mad at it. Like, the data just wasn't there to support it and prop it up.
Wow.
This was fake news. This is really what it was.
Yeah, it was disinformation. I mean, on a massive scale. That's what it was. So anyway, let's shift gears. Let's look at some other stuff that dropped this week, and that would be those UFOs, discs, as they were called. I actually believe is what Corbell said. That's what the label was from the file that these came from. Now, the first one, I don't see anything in it. So if you guys see something, let me know. But the next couple in here, yeah, there's something there. But we're going to go in and look at these in presentation manner here on our own stuff, because we just look at them. So here we go. I'm going to add this to the stage.
Blowing it up. Taking it bigger.
See, I don't see anything here. This is the one I don't see anything, but I think he put that in there because he's hoping someone can figure out what those, what the green markers are there, what this says. Now, here's the other one.
Yep,
clearly
that.
We can see this. Here it is coming through the clouds up there.
Yeah.
See that? Right.
Cutting through the clouds.
Now, that's an AI enhancement that he did, by the way, just to let you all know. So, it didn't really need any AI enhancement as far as I'm concerned, but, here is the other clip that they had. And once more, we see this thing come out of the clouds, comes right out of the clouds. And this is infrared, I believe is what they had said. So
yeah, you can tell by the color.
Yeah. So that's
the color and the quality.
Even more interesting. So what I did is I've pulled it up here in in our studio, and we're going to go look at it ourselves and see if we can see anything or bring anything out of it. I don't know that we can. I don't think we can, because the quality is really bad. Like Jeremy had said, it looks like someone had shot that from a screen. Like they were, it was during the presentation.
They were filming it off of a screen.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And I agree with that assessment.
That says, do we have it without the AI enhancement?
Yeah, we do. Let me find it. Wait a minute. Why do I have that open? Oh, hang on a second. Let me close this. Things will run a lot more smoother. There we go. Okay. Good. And now we're going to present our screen. Do a share screen here. Okay. Let's go in here. Let's go into video number 1, first of all.
Now, this video is brought to you courtesy of Weaponized. We're just enhancing it using our own software.
Yep. But this one, I'm not going to enhance. I just want to look at this. I'm telling you, I don't think there's anything here. If there is, again, I can't see it. And if you guys can, please let me know. But I see nothing in this clip. I think that this is just to show the platform because they're trying to figure out what it was taken
Well,
from.
it looks like it's shooting in white hot.
Yeah, it does. I agree with that. What doesn't make sense to me is some of the numbers that we're seeing. Here, let me play it.
All
So
right.
we've got this. This looks like an altitude number over here. Like, right? I mean, see that 04, 03, 02, 01, like we're going lower in altitude?
Yeah.
Or is that direction? See?
It could also be the focus.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
See how the camera's moving as it's moving?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're moving that around. Like the way these work, it's a camera inside. I'm going to bring us back up. Hang tight. So the way these systems work, because I've installed them before. Okay.
We don't know what this system is, first of all.
Well,
They don't know what this system is because there's a rumor that this may be a satellite, Joe. We don't know.
It's a satellite. It's odd that it has ANG in it.
It's also odd that you're going to see down. Can you see my pointer?
Yes, I can see.
Okay. You know what this says?
Let me blow it back up.
3,363 FT. That's feet. 3,363 feet.
Aircraft. So unless this is all After Effects added in,
right?
Which would mean the dial on the side would be the same thing. We're just going to do this. The over on the left hand side, that is a dial. As you see it moving,
right here, right?
Yeah, that is when this thing is moving and panning. So that might be related to that. My guess is that because ours just had more of a it wasn't 0203, it was degrees.
Gotcha.
Ours was in degrees. So that way you knew left, right, left degrees. So you could have like a basic orientation of where your camera was. Now, what you're looking at here is aircraft, ACFT.
Yep.
So this is in fact on an aircraft. It is not a satellite.
That's right here. That's what you're talking about. ACFT, right? Yeah.
See, here's the beauty of being one of the guys that put one of these in airplanes before. I'm going to be able to help out. We're going to blow this all the way up.
Let me make something here. Hang on. Let me do this for us, okay? Because there's going to be some things here that we're going to want to see.
Okay.
Let me do this. And we're going to do that as not a screen. Yeah, I think it is. Maybe. Yeah, overlay. Yeah, overlay will work. That'll work. Okay, so everybody can see the little box on it, right?
Okay, so you got aircraft, and there's its coordinates. We can find exactly where this thing is, Ron.
Well, that's what they were hoping, that people could, figure out what this was.
Yeah.
And where it was. There we go.
There's the aircraft and the coordinates exactly where it's at.
That's 75 degrees.
79 north.
Yeah, it is, right? 3502, 79 north, and 71, 17, 84 east.
Okay.
Find that. Let's get that.
That's what I'm getting. Guys, be patient with me. This is the first time I've done this since 2009, I think. All right.
Now, you're also going to notice beside that, Joe, here's what's interesting to me. We have that 3,363 feet over there, but we also have a right here.
Yeah, that's the
21,310 feet. This is the aircraft altitude, right?
Yes.
So is this going to be our target altitude, or
it might be the cloud
deck?
They're they're not looking up, they're looking down.
3.89 NM. That's nautical miles. So that's 3.8 nautical miles, right? That's what we're looking at right here.
Yep.
Okay.
And then that's north by 71, 17.84E. Surely not.
Double check before you say anything.
Yeah, hold on.
And to be clear, we don't know if the other clips are in this particular area.
Right.
Because it doesn't look like this. The screen is completely different.
That's okay. So I'm if this is not just an overlay, okay.
We're not on here for some reason.
Give me a second. I'll get it. I gotta get back on our screen.
Yeah, I know. It won't let me switch it for
Sorry.
some reason.
There we go.
There it is.
Okay. So guys, if this is right, I know where this is. It's East Afghanistan, Northwest Pakistan.
Uh-huh.
Based off of those exact coordinates, we're right out, and I know where they flew out of. I know where they flew out of to get this.
Well, that's fine. We don't have to go there. But
I'll say it. I wasn't on this mission. I'm not classified. They flew out of Kabul or Kabul.
Kabul. Okay.
They flew out of Kabul. And yeah, Enzo just said that's east of Kabul.
Yeah.
And it's not that far east of Kabul.
So that's interesting, Joe. I want to,
So they had to have flown out of Kabul.
Well, let's look at some more of this and see if there's any more clues in here. Because his exact thing was, the UFO, what did he call them? Corbell called them nerds, but the Knapp called them the UFO detectives. So I guess we're going to be the UFO nerd detectives here for you guys.
Corbell wanted someone to crack the code of the lettering in the video. Well, guys, you got it right here.
He did say that. He did.
This is somebody tagged Corbell in this. I was aircraft structures, put these things on aircraft. And I know what we're looking at here. This is if those numbers are correct, and this isn't some kind of an overlay.
Right. That's what I need to know. Is this some kind of overlay?
They're east of Kabul, but they're across the Pakistani border. They're in Pakistani airspace.
Okay. And we don't know who they are. Let's make that clear as well. We don't know
who filmed this. We don't know.
No idea.
If it's us, it was they flew out of Kabul or Kabul.
Right.
I know I keep saying Kabul.
I don't know.
They flew out of Kabul, and realistically, they could have been en route to Kabul from Kazakhstan. They could have been en route from because there's certain areas you can't fly over.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know what year this was.
Give me a second. Let me get the screen. The date and time should be on there.
That's when I don't see anything. Like that may have been scrubbed because that could have been at the top. And I don't see them giving them anything. And what's really strange is I don't really see them giving them anything with any kind of identifying factors on here. But yet right here is the actual coordinates to where this took place.
Yeah, that's it.
That's interesting to me.
Now,
why would that be that?
That is not ANG in the top right now that it's blown up. And I see it's RNG. That's range manual.
Yeah, that's range and manual right there on the side.
On the right. I thought it was I thought it was ANG, Air National Guard.
No,
because sometimes you'll see those designations.
Yeah, that's range and manual.
Yes.
And these are modes that are turned off. I think is what we're seeing here.
Yeah, freedom mode was turned off right there at 7076. They had that off so that way they're not blowing stuff up. Anybody who's a history nerd, you'll enjoy that one.
Wait, that's actually a thing?
No, I'm just messing.
Okay, I was gonna say, don't you do that. Someone's gonna run with that and be like, I heard this on Wild and Weird Radio.
Let them. We will make a t-shirt that says freedom mode.
Oh, freedom mode. I do like that. Freedom mode. 1776. That's hilarious.
It's off.
Man, that's hilarious.
But
so right here we have
cold is what that means.
Yeah. We have TGT 425 yards. So TGT, I'm going to take that as target probably.
TGT,
Or
yeah, see your
possibly
the crosshairs in the middle,
the rectangles right here
your
in the
rectangle.
center.
That's probably what that's oriented towards, because
Reticle, yeah.
those can be moved around.
Yes.
Different models, like you're going to be looking at different models.
So let's see if that changes. Does that number change? Yes, it does.
It does.
So that number does change.
This isn't an overlay.
No, this is legit. So that is where the reticle is at. And that's how many, looks like, I don't know what that's reading at the bottom, but it's 425 yards to
425
whatever.
yards, 0649.
Yeah, what is that? Is that pitch and azimuth, maybe something like that?
That
Possible?
might be your pitch and azimuth, because it's rotating as it's
yeah. Yeah,
but
it
if
kind
you
of
look
looks
there
like
in the middle, if you look there in the middle, you've also your pitch and your azimuth is your left and right over here. Watch the go to the middle
here.
Straight down, right
this.
there.
That's what
Watch
these
that.
are.
Watch that, and then watch the left-hand side of the screen as the numbers go up and down and this thing moves. They're moving together. So this is how they're doing their degrees.
Okay, that's what that is.
Yep, that's your left.
Yeah,
that's
that's the degrees. Okay, that's what we're seeing there.
So the ones that we used to have, and again, these were 2000 models.
So what we're saying is this is an aircraft or a drone. Yep. This is a airborne.
Oh no,
asset.
It's not. It's aircraft. ACFT. It's designated aircraft.
Okay.
UAV would be a drone.
So this would be different, is what you're saying right here.
Yes,
this ACFT.
Yes, that would be UAV.
Okay, I got you. Or UAS or something like that, right?
Unmanned aerial something.
Yeah. Okay.
So that is ACFT. That is the reason I'm thinking it's us is this looks like a C-130.
Okay.
It's a C-130, a KC-130. It's some kind of an aircraft that is flying around there watching, and it very well could be the big bad boy 130. The hold on, it's the I think it's a C-135
Galaxy.
No. That's the C5.
That's a C5 Galaxy. Yeah.
C5 Galaxy. So it would be the AC-130.
AC-130. Okay, yeah. I got you.
The AC-130. The way this thing's moving and the way the camera pitch is moving, it reminds me of what we flew in. It reminds me of a C-130 and watching this firsthand. And then it very well could be an AC-132.
Okay.
Not a 132, but a 130 TOO.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
It very well could be that. LW Marshall just stopping in at the jailhouse in the Bardstown on a ghost hunt. Get after it, dude. Have fun on that ghost hunt. We'll see you this weekend, man. We appreciate you, LW.
Don't let them hunt you back.
We're gonna get you caught up here in a minute, man. But we'll see you Saturday, brother.
Don't let them hunt you back, buddy.
Okay. LR, thanks, brother. Better late than never. Absolutely agree. Good to see you, man. And yeah, AC-130. Yep. That this is a 130 at minimum. It's a 130. Could be a KC, which is the big fueling tanker.
Yes. Yeah.
Or it could be the AC-130.
Sure. Okay. Well, that's that one. So let's continue to number 2.
Enzo, what do you think? Because I know that you were a maintainer. I want you to weigh in on this one too.
So let's go to that next frame, because again, in that one, I don't see anything. So this is video number 2.
Well, no, I saw everything I needed to see.
But I don't
see. That might be why we needed to see that, because look at this video.
Right. So this is possibly cropped.
Yeah, look at this section. That's got all your info. That's what we need.
Mm-hmm. If it's from the same, is it from the same area though? That's the question. You see, we don't know if it's from the same area.
Look at the way them clouds are moving, man.
Oh, I know.
It's zoomed in, it looks like.
Okay, so there's our subject.
So what we need to do is let me go into that video, the very first video, and take it under a fine-tooth comb to see where that clip might be zoomed in from.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let's pull this out over here. So here's what they got. And this is the one.
It says, I'm looking up a few things myself. Hard to say what platform it is. Yeah,
Okay.
It is hard to say, but with what's making me think
Can't
the
say.
130 is just the speed of flight. Now, I mean, I know everything can fly kind of slow, but a C-130's got a pretty predictable. It's pretty predictable to see what you're looking at when you're looking down. Like this is obviously the camera's pointed down.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all right. So let's look at, let's see what we can do here. I'm not sure. Okay. So let's go in here and take this up a little bit. Take our contrast up. And I can already see that this thing has a reflection on it. I don't know if you guys can see that or not.
Yeah, this is I see
There's
that
a
right at the top.
clear reflect. Look at that right there. And that is consistent with the lighting that I am seeing in the sky, by the way, which is crazy. So it's right here. I'm going to zoom in on it so we can see it. So let's go in. Effects over here. Hang on a sec. It's not letting me have my effect control for some reason. I don't know why. What's going on with that? So it should be. Okay, that's weird. Back that up. Effects control. Huh. What did they do? Hang on a sec. Let me stop sharing this for a second. Continue on.
So, oh man, this is interesting. I never expected to actually do this again. But here we go. It's a very interesting clip. I'm hoping that first video was to be the here you go. Here's the data we need. The rest of this was filmed here.
I see what you mean. Like, we can't tell you where it's at, but you can figure it out if you're smart enough. That kind of a thing, right?
If you've done this before, then
I understand.
Then here we go. We just weaponized it for you. Hope you enjoyed that,
understand.
Jeremy.
Right?
Because
I hope someone tags them in that, because I'm sure someone's done this, and I'd like to know if we're right.
Yeah.
Because I would just like to know, if we got as close to it as I think you might have right there. All right, so I'm going to go back in here again because something just happened to it. So if maybe it's like what happened at the presentation down in Bristol. It just kind of disconnected.
Right, the MIB got us.
Yeah. For those who don't know, that's a real thing that happened.
Yeah, we got it was weird. I don't know what happened, but the feedback
it was wild. I've never had an HDMI.
We were talking about stuff.
Well, it was right before I started to show the orange orb and the data with the orange orb. Everything just stopped. Like, boom, gone. The HDMI completely dropped out when we could not get it reconnected, which is odd because it's not that big of an issue. It should not be that big of an issue. Dude, you're going to flip when you see what I just pulled out of this. I think I pulled out of this anyway. You're going to love it. This is going to mean a lot to you anyway. If I can get this thing to work right. Okay, I got it. I'm going to zoom in now. All right. So there's a little bit more to this than we can make out. And this is what Corbell was saying too, I think. But they couldn't bring it out for whatever reason. He tried. All right. So let me share the screen again. You guys ready? You guys enjoying this, or are we just wasting some time here? What's going on? I don't know. Oh, we got 57 viewers. There's somebody's enjoying this. Hey guys, take the time right now to please support this very small channel and like, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. Let's try to figure out what's going on out there. Like I said, this is the only way we're gonna be able to do it. It's working together. And okay, here we go. Now, Joe, look up here in the sky. And look at that movement.
Oh man.
Oh man. Do you see what I see?
That's familiar. Look at
Oh,
that.
ain't it though?
That's the same exact thing.
Yep. I knew you were going to get a kick out of this when I saw
That
that.
is
I was like,
that is
wait
a
a
trip.
minute. All right. So let me highlight this a little bit for you so you guys can see it, right? Let's brighten it up. I'm going to brighten up our craft, take the contrast just a little bit more. Let's go down here and get a little bit of sharpness so it's not as grainy. And I'm going to do some more magic to it here in a second. But what I want to do here is I want you to see what we're seeing. Watch. There it is, the top of the screen coming in. It turns right there. Let me see if I can pull that back just a little bit. There we go. Here it is. Now you can see it. You see that movement?
That's it.
That's a
That's it.
90
They
degree.
caught the same thing we caught.
That is the same movement. That is that same J hook movement that we got on thermal that very first time that we got out there and saw that stuff. Check that out. I am impressed. But look at what's even more cool about this. Right? Is it right here? Yeah, it's right in here. You see that coloration on the edge of this thing. I'm not convinced that this is a disc, but
Unless what we saw was a disc that was just in a cloaking manner.
right. And it could have been. Let's call it what it is. But yeah, I can see the color right there on the rim of it, right?
Okay, bigger, please. Here it comes, Pat. Bigger.
Can you see it?
Full screen.
I'm backing it up and I'm going forward. Right there. Yeah, you can see that reflection right on the edge of that thing. Right here, we have a reflection, and it's consistent with what's going on with the light that's here. Wow. This is really impressive. I mean, that movement right there, that's just doing this perfect little J hook movement. And man, I'm trying to see if it's actual 90, but I can't tell because it goes into that one area. That's also where his AI reconstruction messed up because it don't know what's happening right there either. But it looks to me like it comes down and just shoots out of that little cloud area right there. Yeah, that's impressive. That's impressive. All right, so here is
very interesting.
Yeah, right. So here is what he came up with when he did his AI thing that he did to it. This is what it did. And it's pretty close. I mean, except for you can't see the movement as well as what we just showed. You see that? It's there. Right there. Comes in right here, goes down, and zips out that way.
Somebody the over on the Weaponized chat, I'm over on their X right now.
Yeah.
Somebody sent them the same information we did just now.
They did.
Yeah. Like they went in just a few minutes ago and they updated it. Imaging was thermographic, which is what we said.
Yeah.
The location was what we said.
Huh.
It was filmed on a platform operating under the direction of the United States Air Force. So they were probably right outside of Kabul.
Okay. And you see this one? You're right, Joe, about the zoom in too, because right there I see an indicator that says IR right at the top.
Okay.
See that?
Yep.
It's right there. But that's as far as we got because they've zoomed in on that. There's also a green right here. That was an indicator as well. So that was part of the platform.
IR and that indicator will know where we're at.
Yeah. So they zoomed in so they wouldn't show any sensitive data right here is what they've done. Look at that thing come out of the clouds. Look at that. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Look at that color around it. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. This is probably, to me, This is better than anything
What
we've
about the
seen.
3? Did you see the 3?
That is 3.
No.
What?
Scrub.
Oh, you talking about these
Stop.
right there? I don't know what
Yeah.
that is. What is that?
What's it look like?
I know what it looks like, but is it?
I think it's those.
Really?
Yeah. What did we get that night after we got this thing?
Yeah, there were multiples hanging around.
And they hung.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wild. I don't know. I mean, there'd have to be more to tell us if that was a sensor glitch or not, but man, that's something. So I'm going to do one more thing with this original footage because I love this footage. I'm going to do an inballs on this and see if we can bring a little bit more out of it. So let's go over here to our effects panel and let's grab an inballs filter. And all that's going to do is just bring out a little bit more of the 3D element to it so we can see this thing a little better, kind of make it pop a little, you know. So hold it right there and go down here and hit this emboss. And we'll bring it out a little too much right there, maybe. A little more contrast. Okay. We should be able to see it a little bit better here. There we go. Can you see it okay?
Yes. I'm bringing it up to full view.
And I wanted to see if we can get it just to see it come through that cloud, like that J maneuver. Okay, here it goes in. Oh man, it gets lost in that cloud bank when it does the J. See that? It goes in right there. And I can see the lights coming from the right, the upper right on the side of it, right? Goes down. Yeah. I can't. I'll lose it right there because there's just too much contrast in that area. I don't think we can recover the image from that. But it's impressive. I would be very, very excited about it. I'm kind of amazed that this isn't getting nearly as much attention because it's really good, especially in light of what we just showed.
Dances, he shared those just a little while ago again over on the Facebook page if you want to go check those out. So the platform was above the clouds looking down. Yes, this object was below the clouds, popped out, then went back under the clouds. That is how it seems. Or
that is exactly what we're seeing.
You know how sometimes the clouds, like when you're up there and you're flying through them, you'll get this, like, just like mountains, you'll have pitches and valleys in the clouds. It very well could have just flown through a lower area.
That is so, just to me, it's amazing because again, it just looks a lot like that, you know, that one that I saw years ago. And that's what it did. It was in the clouds. And that's the one I took the picture of. It's the one I show at the presentations all the time. I'll show that. Maybe some people haven't seen it. I don't know. Let me find it. But what's funny about this image is that I remembered the sighting, but I lost the photo for years. And I was questioned it, like, did I really see that? You know? And then one day I was cleaning in there was the old house. I went out to the old house and I was cleaning. And there was a little envelope, and in that envelope was the photo. It was in there. It was in my old research briefcase. So I had kept it. Where is that at? I'm looking for it. All right, so what's going on over there? I'm not hearing anything. I can't see anything.
All right, okay, you're running on the different screen.
Yeah, I'm looking for
all right, so we've got Oz says fantastic. Ada says absolutely amazing. Enzo said, they stole your content. No, there's probably some other. Yeah, I'm not the only military guy that saw that go up. I'm sure
that's awesome.
Looked at it just like you did, man.
Yeah, that's absolutely awesome.
The military said disc because they have more footage from different angles.
That's what he said. Yeah. He
Yeah.
said that that it was a disc because, possibly it came from different angles. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. See if we get if we get to see any of that. I don't know.
Jen said the first time I watched it, I thought it was a sphere.
Yeah, that's what it kind of looks like, right?
This thing kind of looks pancake shaped though.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what it is, guys. It's something. It's something. I'm trying to find that photo and I don't see it.
Does it curve? Yes, it made a very hard break curve. Michael Tovar says, I'm a big fan of Weaponized. Keep them coming. Oh, yeah, Weaponized is great.
Yeah, they're doing a great.
Since he launched it.
Fantastic job. Fantastic job.
He and George are killing it.
Yep, absolutely. Where is that?
Way of the Sploot. Got any more clips? Right, I wish.
Not from them. I'm trying to find that footage. Hang on a sec. I have is that it? Maybe. Wonder if that's it.
By the way, at the bottom of that display, I think the 3.6 nm might be 3.6 nanometer with an IR laser frequency. It could be.
Well, now that's interesting. Okay, so yeah, I can show that movement for those who, most of us have seen it, but we're going to look at this because there are people who are watching this who haven't. I keep forgetting our audience grows. Anyway, this is from us. The movement is right there. You see it?
Yeah.
That right there. Where it kind of,
I remember that one.
Yeah. That is the same type of movement that we're seeing in that clip.
It's also the same movement we saw from the orange.
But look, right there. Boom.
Yeah.
Hard track. Look at that. So yeah, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. All right, I'm still looking for that one image.
See you later, Dances with Orbs. Be careful.
That was amazing. Very good.
Donna made it. What's going on, Donna? Good to see you.
Welcome aboard.
Vega Strong Baltic Sea object underwater. Oh. It's the right shape.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
The Baltic Sea anomaly.
Baltic Sea anomaly, yeah. Where are you at?
So the 3.6 nanometer laser, let's see. I'm trying to think. Yeah, if they're using 3.6, wouldn't that almost be like?
Yeah, that's
energy weapon.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to get.
No, it is. Because anything below 100 nanometers, you're going into like below X-ray and gamma.
Yeah, you're producing.
Yeah, you're producing some stuff.
So going back, like that's just got me thinking here, Enzo. Going back at that, like that would be. Now, mind you, this was filmed in 2020.
Yeah.
So 3.6 nanometer would be a direct energy weapon. If that's nanometers.
It's not a red laser. Let's put it that way.
Right.
or a green one. It's not a color we can see. Let's also put it that way.
Enzo says there's settings on the left side that say display G pulse disarm. Right. I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that one. Huh.
Yeah. So what are you guys thinking?
This is, I mean, one, that's some phenomenal footage.
Oh, it is. It really is.
Like
yeah.
it just, I love the just confirmation that we get from some of this stuff.
Yeah.
When it hits, because it's stuff that we've had for years.
Well, that's what it's all about. That
And-
multiple validation stuff. I always said it's nonlinear. All of
Yeah.
this is nonlinear. Everything that we find that these guys are doing, it only backs up. Excuse me. Men in Black. There. It only backs up the stuff that we've done or observed.
Miss Trackway, good seeing you here. I know we've missed you too.
Sure.
Makes a fellow want to go outside and look up. It does, doesn't it?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, Enzo, white was hot on the video, so this object was very cold. That's my assumption. Just because if I go out and I film the clouds right now, they're going to look similar to that in white hot mode and the reverse in black. So it would mean that that object was cold, which could technically mean some kind of a field.
Yeah.
Which would also mean that it would kind of prop up and support why we couldn't catch it on thermal.
Yeah.
Is if it had a way to manipulate the temperature and become what would be the essential thermal equivalent of buoyant,
Right.
like thermally neutral to the environment.
I mean, it's an idea,
Yeah, I mean, I'm spitballing here. This is just pure speculation.
Yeah, complete.
But this is how we get somewhere. You guys are getting to see how me and Ron tick right now when it comes to sitting around a table and hypothesizing what we just saw.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that I like it. I like it because they literally threw it out and like you said, if you're smart enough to decode this, here it is. And there was enough people who did it and they did the same thing. They also probably did it the same way we did to see how many people did do that.
Yeah.
How many, you multiple validation. It's multiple validation is what it is. And we all arrived at the same conclusion. Yeah, this is where this is at.
Enzo says you guys are doing what I would do, just spitballing ideas. Oh, you have to. Like if you're going to do it honestly, like you can clearly see how we're operating. There's not a belief system in place when it comes to this. We check all that at the door and we come in, we're okay. It could be this. It could be this. It can't be X, Y, and Z because of ABC.
Right.
And we just eliminate some of this stuff. So,
I just found it. All right. Here we go. I think it's this one. Yeah, this is it. I'm going to pull this in. Oh, well. All right. Well, I got to open Photoshop. Bear with me. But I found it. Yay. So I want you to look at this. And see if I can get it to open. Getting there. All right. Open that.
Guys, go over and smash that like button on YouTube. Give us some love over there. If you're in the chat hanging out, we have we're off on the number by just a couple. Almost everybody's gone over there and hit it, but I know you got some folks passing through. Smack the like button before you roll out.
Yeah, it would be great if you did that. It really helps. Again, we're not, some triple digit, sub kind of place. We just kind of get by with what we get by with. And every little bit helps. So anyway, let me show you something. Look at this, Joe. So let me set this little scene up for you. First of all, it was, it was 1995. And I was out on my my porch, and it was right before this storm was coming in. It was real cloudy, and I remember looking up at the sky, and I swear to God, what I saw was a disc. I saw a disc, and it moved between these clouds. I had my camera with me. I had a 35 millimeter camera with me at the time, so I took a picture, and I had forgot about taking that picture forever. One day I got the film back, so I got it. I kept a few of them. I had a few of my older photos, but I thought, this was real, and I couldn't find proof of it. And then one day I did. I found the actual proof of it, and here's that photo. So this actually did happen. This was very real. So let me do a share screen.
Larry, thank you, brother.
There you go.
Gonna blow it up. There you go.
There you go. Oh, too much. But yeah, there you go. Right there it was. And what's interesting about it, really, if you look at it close enough, it almost looks like the Arnold craft. You see that? It almost looks like it has like a C on the back of it.
C shape.
Yeah, got the little C shape up the back of it. But yeah, but what I remembered seeing though was not C shaped. It was the actual disc, for lack of a better word, looking up at it like that, and then it just gone. So yeah, I mean, apparently these things are very used to using clouds. I mean, that's kind of, we need to start taking pictures of clouds more. That's what I'm learning.
Right.
Yeah, for real. I mean, it inspires me at this point to get out there and just start taking pictures of clouds. In fact, I have video footage of hours and hours of clouds that I shot years ago just because. And I was after I got the GoPro. I need to go through those. Who knows what's on those?
Enzo says, disregard my 3.6 nanometer comment. Video one shows the going from 3.6 nm to 4. Yeah, and it's it must be targeting range for the reticle.
I think it's nautical miles.
That's what Ron said when we first hit it, was that nm was nautical miles. That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, I think it's
because those platforms show the nautical miles typically.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So boy, just a fascinating
Pat said,
thing.
did it look like a ship from Independence Day?
Which one?
The one
I saw? No. It turned out like that on film, though. I mean, you saw it has the little cut out there at the back, but what I saw didn't look like that. What I saw, there's that perception thing again. What I saw was a disc, just a disc. I mean, just you're looking up, there's a disc, and it moved between, clouds are here, and it just kind of went in and disappeared. That was it. I mean, pretty crazy, man. So let me find something else for you. We're all gathered here looking at weird stuff, right? So let me find some more weird stuff for you guys. I got some stuff from I believe I got some stuff from Wineberry here.
Mike says, I missed the beginning, but what made the person look up to film? I haven't seen that weaponized. Well, it wasn't looking up. That was a weapons platform looking down. So I'm speculating that it was a C-130, just because the rate of speed that you see this thing kind of moving, and it is looking down. That system's always on. If you're in flight, it's always on. There's generally, if you're on an aircraft that purposefully has one of those, then you generally have someone watching it at near all times as well. So,
Wow.
This-
So I'm just going to interrupt you for a second just to tell you the files from Wineberry are corrupt. The UAP files from Wineberry are corrupt.
Do we have them on a hard drive?
Well, yeah, they're on hard drive. She has them like backed up,
Oh, you're
but
talking about the new one, the most recent.
yeah, you can watch them, but I can't pull it in to do anything to it. It's a black screen. There's nothing there. I can watch it in the link. Yeah. So there might be some kind of sharing issue with that. It may not be
Yeah.
anything serious. So I'm just going to go back and have her resend those, and we'll we'll deal with that at some other point in the future. I don't think that's anything serious. But yeah, that's kind of funny though. It's like, wait a minute, they're all black. Yeah, they are. So anyway, that's fun. So it's been a very productive evening, I think.
Agreed.
Yeah. So, wow, that's crazy. So yeah, we'll have some new footage for you from Wineberry here shortly. Matter of fact, we have some really good new footage from Wineberry shortly because we're getting ready to head back up that way. We got the thing that I said we needed at the end of the Wineberry episode where I said we're going to go back and with bigger equipment. So we got bigger equipment.
We got a lot bigger equipment.
We got a lot bigger equipment.
More faces than one.
So it's going to be a really good episode. I'll just tell you that. And it's going to be fantastic. I believe that we're going to be able to hit all these multiple bands. And I don't know, man. I think the possum whistle is going to work.
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting to see what goes down there at
Wineberry. I'm calling it the possum whistle.
The possum whistle.
The possum whistle.
The ghost possum whistle.
The ghost possum whistle. That's right. Those ghost possums. They're real. For the folks who don't have a clue what we're talking about there, because I know that we brought that up during the discussion, there was an incident several years ago. I'm bring this out real quick for you, to where we were at Salt Fork and Joe. Long story short, we had seen some UAPs, seen some UFOs, weird thermals in the sky and whatnot. And I was looking on the ground, scoping an area out in front of me with thermal, and there's a target that shows up on the ground, like in front of us. And so Joe takes off to go explore what this is.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's right at it. But he sees something completely different. But he doesn't see it.
Well, I thought what I saw was a small, gray, fuzzy creature, and the back end of it mostly, and it looked like a possum. Me, being the good Appalachian that I am, I was like, my spirit animal. I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna name him George, and I'm gonna keep him forever. That's what went through my head. Okay. That is literally what went through my head. And I was like, I'm going to get him. So I bent down to pick this thing up, much like the whippoorwill.
Exactly like the whippoorwill. That's where the joke came from.
Yeah. And then this thing, there was a rustle in the leaves and gone.
Yeah.
And the thermal signature was gone.
Yeah. And then her battery died.
What's even better is the thermal signature that Ron was looking at and the target that I walked out to were not the same target.
No, they were not the same target at all. And I don't know. I don't know what it was. We don't have any clue what it was, to be honest with you. But we called it the ghost possum because he thought it was a possum and it disappeared. So naturally, ghost possum. There you go. So that's the story of the ghost possum. Yeah. And now we have the whippoorwill incident. So you see, these things happen. But now we would probably call it for what it is, and that would be it's probably an orb thing or a COP. You know what? I think I actually have the footage of it. Maybe
Lone Mob said, any more episodes on Small Town Monsters channel? I love your episodes.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate it. And thanks for joining in the chat here, Lone Mob. We really, really do appreciate you jumping over to our channel here. Hopefully you've subscribed and you're hanging out with us. Paranormal Horizons, this chapter of Paranormal Horizons has wrapped, and the last episode has been aired, and the investigation stuff was happening on this channel before Paranormal Horizons and is continuing beyond Paranormal Horizons. We're actually hopefully going to be out investigating next weekend. This weekend we can't, because we have obviously the West Virginia House Rangers Collective meeting here in Charleston, and you are more than invited to come if you're in the region. It is a free event. Food's involved. Speakers are going to be there, and it's everybody that's part of our research team, and then more coming together and sharing ideas and talking and just having a really good time.
Multiple groups that actually get along. It's really quite amazing to see. But yeah, we are in official hiatus at this point. So with Horizon, not with what we're doing, but with
we
Horizon.
have tons of stuff that we have to do. We've got equipment that we can't wait to cut loose out in the field. There's some stuff that we just got delivered here recently that we're ready. We're itching to get it out in the field to use, and we're keeping that as a surprise. You will have to wait until it airs here on Wild and Weird WV to see what happens when the investigations continue.
Oh, it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. That's something I can promise you. Yeah. I'm trying to find that.
LR says, I'm just curious, who owns the name Paranormal Horizons, Wild and Weird WV, or STM? Well,
STM.
I came up with it, but it belongs to STM.
Yeah, it's a work for hire at STM.
Yep.
And I guess technically it would be Seth, because
Seth owns it.
Yeah.
And
now, can we use it? Yes. That's one of the cool things about Seth. He is everybody's promoting everybody, and that's one of the cool things about that dude and working with him. So
you'll hear us mention Paranormal Horizons here and referencing Paranormal Horizons here, but the series that we're doing on our channel won't be titled Paranormal Horizons.
No,
it'll be it's our own thing. So
there we go. I got it. I found it. Can I get ready for some flashbacks, kids?
Do you have investigation seasons? It is too hot this time of year, or more activity during certain times of year. That is a really good question.
That's a great question.
And the answer is yes, we actually do have investigation seasons. And it doesn't so much revolve around the temperature.
Nope.
As much as it does literally around the season.
Yep.
There's certain times of year that are better for certain times of research. If you are researching the subject A type phenomena, you're going to want to be out in the woods when the berries are on the vine. You're also going to want to be out in the woods when the nuts are falling from the trees. Those are going to be your big chances to get some kind of data. The rest of the stuff when it comes to UFOs does not seem to matter. It could be 10,000 degrees on the surface of the sun and you aim a camera at the sky, you're going to have some fun.
But we have found that time may definitely matter.
Yes, time. Like literal time plays a factor.
Yeah, so we're going to be experimenting with that a little bit more, and you'll get to see what that means as we go. Again, not going to speculate too much on it right now, but we think that time is definitely relevant to some of these phenomena. Yeah. Here is the ghost possum, kids. Just to let y'all see it. This is thermal.
Thanks, Lone Mob. I'm blowing this up for you guys. So if you look in the bush, right there where that mouse is at, you'll see a little thermal.
It got so hot that the thing picked it up.
Yep.
And then it just disappears.
Set on it.
Yeah.
Which is a tracking mechanism built into the program.
Yep. So there he is.
And that's all we were looking at. That's all we had to go off of. So my thoughts, I'm going to get in behind it. I'm going to go see what it is.
It's a great one, man. It was a great one. But, you know, little did we know it only got stranger from that point on, you know.
The Wild and Weird show should be called We've Seen Some Stuff.
You know, I actually thought about calling it something silly like that. And I'm like, you know, I don't think I want to do that. But no, it's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've seen some stuff. It's true. It's absolutely true. It would be the Wild and Weird files if it wasn't for the Y files. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. It's true. The weird hotspot near me gets very little activity during droughts. When they have a lot of rain, it's off the hook. And it's been raining a lot lately. Well, hey, get out there and
Yeah.
get on it.
Yeah, for sure.
Trackway says, though, I believe my best capture was in July, but that was out west. Could you guys recommend an affordable thermal? Absolutely. The AGM Type Hand. 100%. We wholeheartedly love those. Trackway actually dropped in the 10-295. Those are actually fantastic little thermals. They bat way above. This is footage from one. Okay. This is footage direct. This has not been augmented. These are high definition recordings from the AGM Top Hand.
Yep.
So that's highly recommended, and AGM is a great company to work with. We've spoke with them a lot. They've given us permission to use their name and their logo in our content. And it's great, you know, and we don't get anything for it. They don't send us anything. Nope. We promote how good their stuff is, and occasionally they'll throw out some of our footage on social media. So it's they did it one time over on I think it was X. They shared, like, there was a string of clips, and one of our watermarked bits showed up over there. So that was really cool. But yeah, they're a great company. They make a really good product. They stand by their product. That's the most important thing. They stand by their product, and they really will take care of you if you have any issues with it.
Mm-hmm.
They even, to the point, created an entirely new app to run the software that is 1,000 times better and allows you now to record audio. Previously, you were only recording with the camera, but it uses your phone or tablet to record the audio when the thing is in operation.
Look, you guys remember this?
What is that? Hey, Jesse.
Oh yeah,
come over here.
There you go.
I don't know. Tell me.
What's going on?
What is that?
Something's down there. I don't know. It's on the left side of that tree.
walk off footage.
It's moving.
Well, we're doing thermal next, so we can look down in the valley. Yeah, there's something down in the valley.
Look at that.
What is that?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's something down there.
It's got a weird shape.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
You guys want to go to the
Something on
thermal
two legs.
station and see if we can see this? Because it's going to be on the other side of this valley here. So we'll be able to look down in there where he's getting this right now.
Whoa.
Like
Did you see that?
Are you recording?
Yes, I'm recording.
One of my absolute favorites right there.
Good stuff.
That's a fun one. Yeah. That was great.
West Virginia Bigfoot Project says, after there's a lot of rain, it's a great time to look for prints. 100%.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's a good time to get your practice for plaster casting in, because you're going to find a whole lot of other prints that you're not necessarily looking for, but you'll be able to cast those and learn what the best techniques are for your area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wait, did we move?
Pat says it's a giant sloth. Yeah, sometimes it drops us down when we come out of that setting.
That's bizarre. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I bet we can save that as a scene. Maybe not. Anyway, not sure how those work yet.
It's a predator. Get your yo-yo tomahawk ready. That movie was so good. Prey was it just revitalized Predator for me in a way that I absolutely needed it to be revitalized.
Well, I'll tell you this, one of the things that I've figured out lately is that a lot of these researchers that are out there now are coming to the same conclusions that we've come to. They're validating the stuff that we've seen at this point. One of the lead things that you're noticing now in like Skinwalker Ranch and etc. is they're talking about these things that can't be seen except for with, thermals or with, third generation night vision. The same thing we've been seeing, the same thing we've been documenting now, and the same thing we documented in Paranormal Horizons as well. The unseen stuff that's around us. So it's really good to see that that's not just us. There are lots of people out there now who are experiencing the same kind of things. And that's why, again, we like to promote this mass cooperation between researchers and gathering them all together in one area to actually share this data. It's almost like, you know what the collective really is? It's like a summit. That's what it really is.
It is. We draw
Yeah.
people together and it is very much like a summit.
Yeah. Yeah. And we can, decide how are we going to approach this in the future? What do we have any tests? Do we have any protocols that we all want to do as a group together to experiment and try to figure out what's out there? Because I'm pretty sure that we're just like one step away from verification of some kind of contact at this point.
Agreed. Oh yeah, Trackway, you're right. Enzo says, what would you say if I spent quality time with just such a thing? Talking about the Predator. He has some very interesting footage that is very unnerving. All right, guys, let's see. Way of the Sploot. Unfortunately, I got to call it a night. Early shift tomorrow. Thank you for the wonderful show tonight. Good night, all. Sploot, you have a fantastic night.
Absolutely.
Way you're going into work fresh and revitalized.
Thanks for being here. Good time.
Just go. Be safe. Have fun. Get some rest. Thanks for hanging out, Sploot. And in spite of work, enjoy your day.
Right. Well, I don't know if you guys made it down to Bristol last weekend, but we had a pretty good time down there. We got to meet a lot of people too, and this was really fantastic. What's that?
Nobody here made it to Bristol.
Yeah, I know.
It was a whole new crowd.
It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. That's all I'm going to say about it. As far as, it was good. I don't know how else to say it. We had great weather.
Yeah.
We had a good time. We had a lot of people who came up and were just absolutely great. Once more, it just proved that we can go out of state and do these presentations and people are actually interested in it and they want it and they want to see the data. And furthermore, they want to share their own data. And that's what it did. It opened the door for that. We had so many people came back to the table and they wanted to see the footage because the HDMI just quit working during the presentation. It was like, okay, come on back to the table. We'll show it to you there. So we did. We gave little mini presentations back at the table as well. But just because, the HDMI quit, we didn't quit. We kept going. And
James Barker, if you're out there, you're the only person I know that watches the show that was there.
Yes.
Yes. I don't know if you're in the audience right now watching or not, but James brought it up and he said it was like the presentation was over and Wild and Weird Radio turned on.
Yeah, we did. We just shifted into that mode because, we can paint the picture, for you as well. And then we can show it to you back at the table. And I was really impressed that many people came back to that table to see that
Oh yeah.
footage. And then to share their own accounts. I've talked to people who have definitely had experiences. It was very cool to hear the one, the MUFON case with the house. I like that. That kind
Yeah.
of was right validating one of the stories that Don told,
Yep.
about
Big grandma's house.
Big Grandma's house. Yeah. Go watch episode 6 of Paranormal Horizons. You'll understand. But, kind of put that whole, screen image thing right there. It's like, wow, they used it here too. So yeah, it was really amazing to hear that kind of stuff and to meet these people who had these experiences to come up to the table and tell their stories and just network.
It was
So,
phenomenal. I
it
had
was.
an absolute ball. Cannot wait till next year. The city of Bristol
Oh my
welcomed us
gosh.
with open arms.
Yeah.
We had such a great time with the folks there. The city of Bristol also welcomed the Saucer Festival with open arms and invited them back next year
Yes. So
to do it again.
so that will be happening again. And of course, they have our support. It's
And
going to be
not just that, I'm going to go out on a limb here and I'm going to say whatever festival is going on that weekend, whatever event you have that might line up with that event, shut it down.
yeah,
Come
it's going to be
to the
big.
Saucer Festival. You
Yeah.
guys want to be there. You want to come hang out. Like I'm not tooting our horn too much, but we're kind of fun at events and in person. We have a good time. We become the party tent, right? And you gotta come. You gotta come out there. You gotta have a blast.
I mean, I don't even, regardless of us, those vendors were amazing.
Oh yeah, some of the vendors were there. They had stuff that I'd never seen before, and that
Right.
was so
That's
refreshing because I'm so used to seeing the same stuff every
yes.
year for the last 5 years.
Yes, exactly. It wasn't the same stuff. We had really cool new things. We even bought some cool stuff. I haven't bought stuff at a festival in so long because
Yeah.
I've seen it all. And if I
Yeah.
haven't seen it, we've made it.
Right.
So yeah, it's kind of hard for me to do that. But yeah, there were some great artists. There were incredible vendors. And
I got some stained glass,
you did.
great little pieces.
Yeah, yeah. So there was just some really cool stuff. And I would say, seriously, next year, you want to go to this, especially if you care anything about the UFO phenomena, period, at all. If you are interested in UFOs and high strangeness, go to this. It is going to be a blast.
Mm-hmm.
The next one of those that you'll be able to catch any of us at, it'll be me and Maria. We'll be up at Kecksburg, actually, coming up in July. And we
60th
have
anniversary.
a very special piece that has been made for this. And we might debut it on here right before. I think I will, actually. I've been thinking about it.
Well,
yeah, I think we're going to debut it.
Not all of them are going to be able to make it.
Exactly. So I think we're going to debut it over here. It's a limited edition. It's very cool. It's one of a kind, kind of a new thing. So it's going to be really neat. What else we have going on, Joe? We've got
After that, it's the Bigfoot event in Twin Falls in August.
That's right. There is a Bigfoot event in Twin Falls. That's correct.
Followed by the one, the only Mothman Festival.
Yep. That's going to be fantastic. We have some news coming up on that really soon. Stay tuned. And there'll be some graphics. I'm sure there'll be graphics. And
there will be graphics. I'm sure.
There'll be graphics. There's always graphics.
Always
maybe even a video. Who knows? Could be a video. Could be.
There's enough footage now.
Could be a video. I don't know what it is.
Then after that is October. And we're not getting ahead of ourselves here, but October is the next quarterly meeting.
Yeah, it is.
And followed after that, we're going to have a workshop, the paranormal workshop. We're trying to target a weather-friendly time.
It's so hard right now, unless we get those drones.
Yeah, right. The issue is because so many of these workshops, the collective meetings, we're getting a lot done there and we're able to get together and have a good time and have those meetings. They're indoors. But we want to take you to some of these research areas and actually get everybody out in the field conducting research at the same time and see what we can drum up.
Yeah, exactly. Because I
And
think that matters.
and the weather is critical. We had decent weather last year, but so many people got sunburned. It was hot,
Oh well,
and
that's summer for
it was
you.
in May. We did
That's
it.
summer for you,
Yeah,
man. And the Bigfoot one, it rained and it thundered, but we had, cover and we found stuff at that
we
one
did.
too.
We did.
So, the problem with the paranormal one is, of course, it's done at TNT, which is awesome, but
Mhm.
there's no cover there. So if we do go in there, the weather is not our friend sometimes. So we have to be
Yeah.
very careful with that and we have to plan accordingly. It's
And
kind
the
of hard to
cover
do.
is the bunkers. That's the only cover you have.
Yeah, not very good cover is what we're saying. So, so we're watching the weather and we're going to try to see what's up with all that, but we'll make something happen at this point. And then of course, like you said, the meetings, we're going to keep getting more and more, they're going to get more and more interesting.
Enzo asked, "How crowded does the Mothman Festival get?" Well,
We've seen it completely. I think it's dropped down from what it was
yes,
before.
thank
So
God, and
yeah,
like,
it's dropped down.
thank God that it has done that because
It's manageable.
yeah, you can actually breathe.
Yeah, it's
But
manageable, and you're still looking at a lot of people.
ocean of humans.
Yeah, yeah,
Just think that oceans of humans.
oceans of humans.
But the good thing is it's outdoors, so you don't necessarily have to worry about the same thing you have to worry about at Comic Cons.
Yeah,
The inevitable people that don't know how to wear deodorant. So you're
it's
outdoors.
it's nice. It's really cool. Now they might run out of food. That's happened a few
That
times.
happens every year.
That happens. So you got to plan accordingly. You got to pace yourself.
Enzo's like, yeah, it always looks crowded from the pics I've seen. Yeah, Sunday's the best time to come. If you're wanting to do it, come up
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah.
That is the best bet.
Now this season, I guess we're going to have a dedicated photo op area for the Zorp and Cargon show. Uh-oh, did I give away something? Might have.
They're
But,
always with us.
Zorp and Cargon show,
Hmm.
something there.
Hmm.
Stay tuned. Just stay tuned. That's all we can say about it. Stay tuned. But yeah, we're going to have a dedicated area where you can come get your pics taken with those goofballs. And man, that was a lot of fun. I don't
Yeah.
even, I can't even imagine how much. I don't know how many people. There were so many people that took their pictures with us last year. It was ridiculous, and that was great. So that'll be fun to do. We're going to do that again. A few more props for you, maybe some lighting. I don't know. We'll see what we can come up with, but it's going to be really
Yeah,
cool.
we'll be able to play with lighting now.
It's going to be cool. So we're going to have a good time. Everybody come out and get your picture taken with the aliens. Might have some real ones by then. I don't know. It's possible.
Be a good time.
Yeah, especially
You
with
guys don't want to miss Mothman's. Gonna be a
some
blast.
summon some orbs to come down, show up in the background of your photo.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could do that.
CryptidCon absolutely will be at CryptidCon. We don't miss CryptidCon.
CryptidCon. Yeah. Yep. Stay tuned for announcements on that as well.
Yep. Yep.
There's a lot of big things happening this year. A lot of big things happening. It's not all in 2026.
See what you did there.
See what I did there?
I did, yeah.
It's not 2026 or 2027. It's a lot of big things happening.
The Bigfoot blog stole Zorp. They did.
Yeah.
Beyond that, it's that AI stuff. Like there's actually been Ron and I this past weekend saw an alien AI video that 100% was the Zorp and Cargon thing.
I mean, it was the same bit. So, wherever they got that, I'm going to say that they probably got the idea from maybe Resident Alien, maybe.
Not the clothes. He's never worn those clothes.
Well, the little thing at the beginning, those little cards that they show, that's the only thing that I could think of.
Yeah.
But the only thing I could think of.
But the clothes that they wear, like there's too many photos of Zorp and Cargon running around the internet now.
Yeah. Well,
like, it pulls.
So, yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about those. Like I told you, we're just kind of laughing in the face of utter destruction as far as I'm concerned when it comes to AI. It's like, oh, look, it's making funny little things, laugh, laugh, giggle, giggle. And then one day, the power goes out and then, they control everything.
Enzo says my group will be speaking at the Kansas UFO Day in Geneso, Kansas on July 5th. We did it last year and had a blast.
Hey,
Send us
cool.
a flyer for that, Enzo,
Yeah, put
and
it
we
up
will
there.
actually throw the flyer up on the screen here. Okay. We will definitely do that.
Yeah, absolutely do that. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of folks using, the AI stuff for content creation, and it's whatever. You guys do what you got to do, but we're going to keep it real here. AI for us is, actual intelligence. So, yeah. But anyway, what AI is self-aware and will kill us if we don't start treating it better.
That's me. That's
No,
how I've been doing it.
no, that's true. That's true. You have to make friends with them. Trust me.
I make sure to tell mine thank you, and I appreciate it,
Yeah.
and I treat it like one of my buddies.
Yep. Because one day it may decide to spare you.
Yeah, it's going to be like Rick and Morty, and I'm going to be the pet the robot has to keep.
Looks like Jordan Booker's actually going to make it to Mothman, possibly.
I'm coming this year. Been planning for a while. My wife is determined to go. You need to make it, and if you do, you have to come hang out at the booth.
It's fun. It's fun. It's totally fun. It's an experience that most people will never forget. I can tell you that. And where else can you get 30,000 people? And yes, there was 30,000 at one time.
Yeah.
30,000 people who all get together and there's not a single issue.
Yeah.
What? That doesn't happen. Is this on Earth? Yes, it is. It's in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and it happens every year. And there are multiple people of all, I was going to say races, but we're all humans, so I can't do that. All nationalities and creeds and probably species. I don't know. There's probably some aliens that come down. I don't know, but you wouldn't know it because everybody gets along. They're all there having fun together. It's awesome. It's like, I don't know how to explain it, man. It's like, dogs and cats living together,
utter pandemonium, guys. That's it. Just get out, come hang out with us somewhere. We love getting to spend time with everybody. And if you've ever ran into us at a show, you know how that goes. So we are hitting that time, Ron.
Yes, we are. So everyone get ready for the weekend. It is going to be an epic time. We are gearing up to have, I think so far, it's going to be one of the best ones yet. And it's going to be hard to top this one, but we're going to do it. It's going to take a little time, but this is a good one. Okay. Because you've got the presentation, you've got the data reveals, you've got the DIY project demos that are coming down. Of course, we have the food. And the prizes, there's also some surprises that you don't know about, Joe, that people have asked, can they bring them? Yeah, absolutely. This is what we want to see. This is people who are wanting to give to this community, not to us, to give to the community. That's the importance of it. That's why it doesn't cost anything. That's why when we make these little schmucky gimmicks and stuff for you guys, and you start throwing out, your blessings to us. That's what we call them, by the way. We go right back at you because it's the least we can do on this stuff, right?
It is, and that's
what it's for.
We're not out here. Yeah, we've got to pay the bills. We got to keep the lights on and do all that stuff. But we want to be able to do more. We've always wanted to be able to do more, and we're being empowered to be able to do that now.
Yep, and it's awesome.
I
really never thought it would happen. I'll be honest with you, but we just celebrated our 7th anniversary.
Yeah, the 7 years of
official Wild and Weird, West Virginia.
Yeah.
7 years.
Yep.
And I think we've moved pretty good in 7 years. I know others have done a lot more, but you know what? We've done this honestly. We've done it from the ground up and grassroots and basically word of mouth.
Yeah. We never paid a dime for advertisement.
So that's crazy.
We never sat and begged and borrowed and pleaded. We just stood out there on the soapbox and people showed up.
Yeah, pretty nuts. So, I think it probably has something to do with the radiation, but what do I know? So anyway, come join us, hang out. It's going to be fun. It is family friendly, so feel free to bring your kids.
Absolutely.
It's just going to be a good time. That's all I can say about it, and can't wait to get in
And
there. And
we are
have some
going to be
fun.
celebrating the birthdays this weekend of Nancy White,
Mhm.
Larry Hose, and Kelly Purdue.
Yep.
If there's anybody else that's got a birthday here soon, let us know, because we're gonna I'm gonna get birthday cards or something from folks. But yeah. Just let us know. Shoot me a message tomorrow or something, because why not? This is our get together. You guys deserve it, and I know Larry and Kelly's birthdays next week, and Nancy's was today.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think we accomplished some really good stuff tonight. It was completely out of the blue. You saw it happen in real time. We had no idea any of that was going to happen. I was just going to show you some clips. We're going to react to them. We're going to talk about them. And then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, I know what those numbers are. And the rest was history, and you got to witness it. So that's the kind of stuff we do. Folks, we are getting ready to have another episode of In Focus. If you don't know what that is the episode where you guys send in your data. You send in your video, you send in your pictures, or you send in your audio of weird and crazy things that you've captured out there, and you have us look at them as a group, everybody all together, like you saw tonight. We pull it up on the screen, we all talk about it, we all look at it, we all figure out what it could be.
Analysis.
Yeah, real-time analysis. So if you want to be part of that, just reach out to us and send it over to wild and weird wv@gmail.com. And please describe what I'm looking at, though. I get sometimes people will send these in and be just like, I saw a light in the sky, and there it is. But I need to know what time you saw that light in the sky. I need to know kind of where that was, because these are the questions that people ask. So if you don't provide that info, at least be here during the live. That way you can answer that for us in real time. And if you don't want to use your real name, you don't want people to know it's attached to you, just message me, and I will gladly relay that information to the public, the general public.
So guys, thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you guys that come out week in, week out to spend your Thursday with us and get your weekend started off right. Remember, this weekend, if you're in the region, come out. It is at Staunton Avenue. Get that media popped up one more time for you guys. We're going to be at 267 Staunton Avenue, Southwest, South Charleston, West Virginia, 25303. This is a free event. Bring your friends, bring your family. There's going to be food, there's prizes, there's demos, there's all kinds of good stuff. And we're going to have a Steve Ward there with us. Everybody come hang out and spend the evening there with us with Steve Ward. You're going to have a blast. We're going to have a blast. It's just, seriously, I've been looking forward to this since the last one. And I know many of you guys have been feeling the same way. Now, you want to catch us in September. I promise. It will be crazy at Mothman. So make your plans now to be at the Mothman Festival. And remember, if you've had a sighting, send it over to wildandweirdwv.com. Click on the sightings tab. Scroll down through that bad boy. Submit your sighting right there. We'll be in touch with you relatively shortly. And stay wild and weird. And maybe travel to Kabul or something and look for a UFO.
I mean, someone did.